The Golden Phoenix soars. I am Chris with the Joshi Wrestling Recap for Stardom May 5th, 2022, available on Stardom World. Stardom put on their big show for Golden Week, which included 3 title matches. The SWA title, God of Stardom tag titles, and the Wonder of Stardom white belt were defended along with other good matches on the card. This was a long show, so let's get to it. This was a multi-camera show with Japanese commentary. The opening match was a singles match between Waka Tsukiyama and Hina. Even though Waka is double Hina's age, Hina is the more experienced wrestler, which this match showed. Also, Waka Tsukiyama seems to be getting a little bit more desperate to get her first win as time goes. I wonder if this will lead to anything. The match itself was pretty back and forth. One wrestler would hit a few moves before they were cut off, but Hina's runs were longer and more hard-hitting. Hina used her judo training and power moves to great effect in the match. Waka Tsukiyama was feeling the match getting away from her and tried for a desperation backslide cradle pin attempt, but Hina kicked out, and Hina then proceeded to hit a string of power moves ending with her finisher, the Body Buster, and got the pinfall victory. The next match in the card was a fun trios match between Odotai and Stars. For Odotai we had Rina, Saki Kashima, and Ruaka versus from Stars, Hanan, Momo Kogo, and Sai Ida. Fukuoka seems to be gunning for Hanan's future Stardom title, so I was interested in how this match would go. The match started with Momo Kogo and Rina in the ring. Momo really wanted to shake Rina's hand, which Rina of course ignored and instead pulled Momo Kogo to the mat by her hair. Momo recovered and got Hina down with a dropkick, and her teammates ran in to help gang up on Rina. A fun triple tower splash spot followed. Saida put both Hanan and Momo Kogo on her back and splashed Rina. Odotai retaliated pretty quickly and ran in and triple teamed Momo Kogo. This match had a pretty basic structure. Each member of Stars took turns in the ring against Odotai. First it was Momo Kogo, second was Saida, and last was Hanan. During Saida's turn, she did her machine gun chops to all 3 Odotai members, but she was outnumbered and Ruaka, with a short chest, planted Saida with a DDT. A missed double stomp by Saki Kashima gave Saida a chance to tag out and Hanan came in. After Hanan hit a judo hip toss, Saki Kashima eye-gouged Hanan, then tagged in Rina. The rest of the match was Hanan versus her younger sister Rina. It looked like Rina was going to get put away quickly when Stars ran in to give the multi-woman advantage and Hanan hit a famouser. But again, Odotai ran in to even the numbers, cleared the ring and ganged up on Hanan. Rina hit a barrage of moves, then put the match away with her pink devil finisher, but Hanan escaped and got a surprise roll-up pin, and the ref counted 3. Hanan barely won, but a win is a win. The third match was a special trios match between Queen's Quest and Cosmic Angels. Utami Hayashishita, Azumi, and Lady C versus Tam Nakano, Unagi Sayaka, and Mina Shirakawa. Before the match started, there was a short video of a press conference, and Mina saying Cosmic Angels were going to win for Jushin Thunder Liger. Apparently, Mina Shirakawa is a big fan of Jushin Thunder Liger, who was on commentary during the show. To show how big of a fan she was, her and Tam and Unagi came out wearing different versions of Liger's mask to the ring. But they did take them off, they didn't fight in the masks. Mina Shirakawa and Lady C started for their teams, and pretty soon, I would say too soon, Mina tried for her Romero special along with Tam Nakano and Unagi Sayaka following her lead. But Tam and Unagi don't really know the Romero special, so Utami Hayashishita and Izumi escaped and triple teamed Mina. Later, when Utami Hayashishita and Tam Nakano were legal, there was a really nice section against each other before tagging out. Mina Shirakawa was able to get her Romero special though, when she was able to get Izumi in it after having her in a pendulum swing. The tail end of the match saw Unagi Sayaka versus Lady C after Tam Nakano had catapulted outside the ring to take care of Utami Hayashishita and Izumi. Unagi hit a top corner frog splash, but Lady C quickly reversed it into a pin. Cosmic Angels then hit Lady C with triple axe kicks to the back, and Unagi Sayaka put Lady C away with a Blade Runner for the pinfall victory. After the match, an emotional Mina Shirakawa exchanged a fist bump with Jushin Thunder Liger before heading to the back. The SWA title match was next, champion Tekla defending against Mayu Iwatani. This was a great match and felt like a main event. Mayu Iwatani challenged for the SWA title because it's the last belt in Stardom she hasn't won that she can qualify for. When the future Stardom title came out, she no longer qualified for it. It felt like Mayu Iwatani and Tekla wanted to put on the best match of the show, and in my opinion they succeeded. Tekla was in control for the beginning of the match. She was using her rope-based offense to great effect, and even playing some mind games with Mayu Iwatani taunting her. Mayu Iwatani was able to get Tekla on her back foot though when a spin kick connected and she went on the attack. Tekla was reeling after a drop kick forced her to the outside. With a look of desperation, Tekla grabbed the SWA title and hit Mayu Iwatani across the face with it when Mayu Iwatani went for a tope suicida. Tekla was back in control now and started pressing her advantage with a figure 4, and when they both found themselves on the top corner, Mayu Iwatani was on the bad end of a release suplex and rolled out of the ring. A great crossbody by Tekla to the outside followed. After withstanding kicks to the head, Mayu Iwatani slapped Tekla. That slap is where the match pivoted. From this point forward, Mayu Iwatani kept pressure on Tekla, and Tekla was doing all she could to survive. Mayu brought the match to the outside again and tombstoned Tekla onto the floor before wiping her out with a tope suicida. Back in the ring, more high-flying and straights from Mayu Iwatani, another tombstone, and finally a top corner moonsault. Mayu Iwatani pinned Tekla for the 3 count and is the new SWA champion. Tekla was devastated by the loss, but respected Mayu Iwatani too much, so still shook her hand before leaving. Mayu Iwatani has now won every title in Stardom, with the exception of the future title. The 5th match on the card was a special Donald Del Mondo vs. God's Eye elimination match. In Stardom elimination matches, you can be eliminated via pinfall, submission, or going over the top rope and both feet hitting the floor. The Donald Del Mondo team was Giulia, Natsupoi, Mei Sakurai, and Himeka, while God's Eye was Shuri, Amisure, Mirai, and Konami. Faction elimination matches in Stardom are pretty chaotic, but they do a great job of building tension because of the equalizer of the over-the-top elimination. This match had 2 storylines throughout, Mirai vs. Mei Sakurai, and more importantly, Giulia vs. Konami. Giulia fought Konami in her last match before she went on hiatus, and seems to really respect her, which is something. Giulia doesn't respect many people, while Mei Sakurai seemed to be the one most affected by Mirai defecting from Donald Del Mondo to God's Eye. Giulia wanted to start the match against Konami, but Shuri stepped forward and they grappled for a bit before tagging out. Not too much later, Konami and Giulia found themselves against each other. Giulia said she wants the flag she gifted to Konami back. Konami said fine, then wrapped Giulia up in it before trying to pin her, but it didn't work. The flag that Giulia gave Konami played an oddly large role in this match. It was a while before there was the first elimination. Mei Sakurai and Emi Sarai were battling on the apron after both had gone over the top rope. Mei Sakurai boots got Emi Sarai down to her knees holding the ropes, so Mei got back in the ring and ran back out dragging Emi Sarai to the floor. Emi Sarai was eliminated, but Mei Sakurai wasn't because she went under the bottom rope. The next elimination happened while Natsupoi and Konami found themselves against each other. Konami hit a buzzsaw kick to Natsupoi's head, then applied a submission that Natsupoi couldn't escape, while the rest of God's Eye was keeping Donald Del Mondo at bay, and Natsupoi tapped. Natsupoi is eliminated via submission. The next elimination is a bit hard to describe. Shuri and Himeka were battling on the apron after they had both been over the top rope, and Shuri was trying to suplex Himeka to the floor. Giulia had grabbed Himeka's hand to prevent her from falling, and Konami came over and was going to break the hold. Giulia said something to the effect that this is too dangerous, and Konami agreed, so helped Himeka out of the suplex. Himeka then tried to powerbomb Shuri to the floor, and Giulia bumped Konami, who bumped both Shuri and Himeka off the apron to the floor. Shuri and Himeka are both eliminated. Giulia and Konami then find themselves against each other again. This was probably the best part of the match, and it didn't take itself too seriously. After they bonked each other over the head a few times, Giulia forced Konami to the apron off the top corner. When Giulia went to push Konami to the floor, Konami got the flag and used it to pull Giulia over the top rope and join her on the apron. There was a bit of a tug-of-war over the flag until it was dropped and Konami slipped on it. Giulia was trying to kick Konami to the floor, but Konami instead grabbed her legs and took her to the floor with her. Giulia and Konami are eliminated. That left Mirai and Mei Sakurai, who put on a bit of a regular match. Mirai was the stronger of the two, but Mei Sakurai was able to get some attacks in with her feet. After Mirai hit a clean lariat though, the writing was on the wall. A second lariat followed before Mirai locked in her special submission hold, the Miramare, and Mei Sakurai tapped. Mirai and God's Eye win. After the match, there was a bit of a banter between Shuri, Giulia, and Konami. Shuri told Giulia to forget about Konami joining Donald Del Mondo, and Giulia thanked Konami for the fight and invited her to be in Donald Del Mondo the next time she comes back. Konami just said the fight between her and Giulia will never end, and then left. The next match was the second title match of the show, this time for the God of Stardom Tag Championships. Current champs Black Desire, which is Starlight Kid and Momo Watanabe, versus challengers FWC, which is Kaguma and Hazuki. Black Desire had beaten FWC for the titles on the first night of World Climax on March 26th, and FWC got a rematch here in their hometown of Fukuoka. There was a stipulation though that this would be the final time these two teams fight each other for the title. No rematches after this. These two teams put on a really good match. Hazuki was the star of this match in my opinion. I like to think of Hazuki as the reformed bully. She is the enforcer of stars, and while not as vicious as she used to be, that dark side can come out. While Black Desire are bullies who had previously embarrassed Hazuki and Kaguma when they beat them for their titles and poured water over their heads, and Hazuki was looking for payback. Hazuki put FWC on her back in this match, and Kaguma was her backup. There was brawling between the teams early, and Black Desire took the match to the outside. Outside the ring is Odatai territory, and Kaguma was thrown into the ring post by Starlight Kid, while Momo Watanabe was putting the boost to Hazuki. Starlight Kid even hit Kaguma in the head with the ring bell hammer at one point. After teasing some chair shots, Black Desire brought the match back to the ring. After a string of body slams by Momo Watanabe on Hazuki, Starlight Kid poured water over Hazuki's head as a callback. When the match inevitably found its way back outside the ring, there was a miscommunication by Black Desire, and Momo accidentally kicked Starlight Kid. This gave Kaguma a chance to hit a crossbody from the apron, and Hazuki connected with a tope suicida. Back in the ring, Kaguma and Starlight Kid had a short but fun section against each other, before Kaguma tagged back out and Starlight Kid not too long after. The rest of the match was Hazuki and Momo Watanabe unloading on each other with kicks, boots, suplexes, and elbows. Hazuki tried a couple times for her special pin, but Momo blocked it each time and made Hazuki pay for it, usually with a kick to the head. Black Desire's need to embarrass FWC was their downfall though. Black Desire hit their tag team finishing move, but didn't go for the pin and instead got a chair. While Rawaka distracted the ref, Starlight Kid hit Hazuki over the head with the chair, and Momo Watanabe got Hazuki in position for the Peach Sunrise to finish her off. Hazuki reversed it though into the Hazuki Stroll Cradle and pinned Momo Watanabe, who had let her guard down. Hazuki and Kaguma are the new Goddess of Stardom champions by the skin of their teeth. After the match, Momo Watanabe said she wanted a rematch, and Hazuki just plainly said no. Kaguma got on the mic next and asked for Mai Iwatani to join them in the ring, and they showed off the belts that Stars had won tonight. Kaguma also mentions he has a match against Azumi on the 8th, and wants to make it a high-speed title match. Azumi didn't come to the ring to agree, but it was later made into a title match. That brings us to the main event, a Wonder of Stardom white belt title match between champion Saya Kamatani and challenger Maika. Maika got this match after she fought Saya Kamatani to a draw during the Cinderella tournament. There was also the extra history between these two, last year's Cinderella tournament when they met in the finals and Saya Kamatani won. This was a great match and in my opinion the best match Saya Kamatani has had with the Wonder of Stardom Championship. Maika came to the ring riding a palanquin and had some new ring gear, while feathers fell from above for Saya Kamatani's entrance. The match started pretty conventionally with both exchanging holds and locks, neither able to get the advantage. They then both tried strikes, but they know each other so well that they kept dodging and countering each other's moves. Maika was able to get a clean shoulder tackle to land and press her advantage. This match made its way to the outside, but Maika was a bit overeager and went to lariat Saya Kamatani, and Saya dodged and Maika's arm struck the post. Saya Kamatani seized this chance and started targeting Maika's arm with holds, strikes, and kicks. Maika got back into the match though when she countered a springboard crossbody with a dropkick. At this point in the match, both wrestlers started just pulling out big moves in an attempt to put the other away. Maika used power bombs, a second rope Enka Atoshi, brain busters, and lariats. Saya Kamatani's weapons of choice were Frankensteiners, kicks, and suplexes. Lots of suplexes. Both wrestlers were worn down by the end, but Saya Kamatani, through her reign, has shown she can take a lot of punishment. A Star Crusher by Saya Kamatani was the beginning of the end for Maika. Saya followed that with a 450 splash, then a Phoenix splash for the pinfall victory. Saya Kamatani retains. After the match, Saya Kamatani said she considers Maika her rival, and Maika responded that while she no longer hates Saya, she will keep coming for her until she beats her. The next challenger for the Wonder of Stardom title came out, Mirai, who had won the Cinderella tournament, and she exchanged a few words with Saya Kamatani. Their match will take place May 28th during Flashing Champions event, where all the Stardom belts will be defended. And that was the show. It was a good show up and down with a few great matches. I would really recommend watching the 3 title matches, and the God's Eye vs. Donald Mondo elimination match was also very fun. The next Stardom show is on the 7th, and while it looks to be a normal touring show, we'll have Tekla and Nesboy tagging, which is something I am interested in. This has been the Joshi Wrestling Recap for Stardom May 5th, 2022. Thanks for listening.